It's hard to believe it, but the S25 Edge is officially 1 month old. I've been using it a little bit longer than a month, but I've definitely had my SIM card in it for the last month, and I absolutely love this phone. Contrary to a lot of people's opinions and beliefs about it, it's a really good phone. And the only real concern that I have is, of course, the battery life, but I find that it lasts me all day. I unplug it in the morning, it's good all day. I plug it in at night. I'm getting consistently over 5 hours of screen on time. I don't know what they did with the optimization and the battery they put in here, even though it's got a 3900 milliamp battery instead of a 5000 milliamp battery. It works great. And honestly, milliamp per milliamp, it gets better battery life than the S25 Ultra. Like, if you had a 3900 milliamp battery in the Ultra, it would not get as good a battery life as this. Something to do with the way they've got the optimization and everything, I don't know, but it works good. And I know a lot of people are all about their feelings. I hate that expression, but ever since this phone came out, it's been, oh, this phone sucks. Why does it exist? Nobody asked for this, etc., etc. And the only two really areas you can complain about, of course, it doesn't have a telephoto, which I don't really care about, and it doesn't have a bigger battery. But it has a very serviceable battery that, if you're interested in this phone, is probably going to last you all day. And I still can't get over how thin it is. And it makes me even more excited for the upcoming Z Fold 7, because the Z Fold 7, when it's open, is supposed to be, I think, close to 2 millimeters thinner than this, if it shows up as it's supposed to, which is crazy, because the Z Fold 6, while, I mean, it is pretty skinny, when you take a look at, here, let me show you on the camera. When you take a look at these two, I mean, it's the S25 Edge is just slightly thinner, but if you could get it like 2 millimeters thinner than that, that's just, to me, is utterly insane. But you can do that whenever you have a folding phone, because it has two sides, so you can split things up. You can split half the battery on one side on the other. A lot of different options that you can do, but I am incredibly excited about the Z Fold 7. It's supposed to be the largest foldable phone, the thinnest, all sorts of great things, and I'm sure it will still disappoint people because it's likely going to have a 4400 milliamp battery. But with the optimization and the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, it should still last all day. So I think we're getting to a point with a lot of these phones, and people just like to complain about stuff. And I'm finding this very, very, very evident, because I've made a couple of videos about the Unihertz Titan 2 the last 2 days. And the things that people complain about, like, oh, it doesn't have a headphone jack, that's an absolute deal breaker for me. Okay, 95% of phones in 2025 don't have headphone jacks. They haven't for many, many years. If that's a deal breaker for you, you're not going to be able to get a whole lot of phones, right? So I try and weed out the things that are, okay, this is a silly deal breaker for somebody, or it's actually a problem. And at first, whenever they talked about, okay, 3900 milliamp battery, I was incredibly skeptical, because the S25 Ultra, as good as it is, doesn't have the most insanely amazing battery for 5000 milliamps, right? Even though it's still, I think in most areas, edges out the OnePlus 13 that has the 6000 and has the silicon technology. A lot of it comes down to optimization. And One UI is definitely optimized better than Oxygen OS, and I think Samsung has a bit more experience there. But a lot of this stuff comes down to, how does this phone perform for you? And I got to say that the S25 Edge has performed marvelously for me. And the nice thing is, a lot of people don't realize this. So you've got a 200 megapixel camera. So instead of having a dedicated telephoto camera, which a dedicated telephoto camera is going to be better. That's the one that allows you to reach out and touch stuff. That's what gives you the 100 times space zoom and all those crazy things. So that's nice and all, but realistically, most zoom stuff is not all that great once you get past 20, 25 times, because you do need a certain degree of clarity. Just because you can zoom out 100 times doesn't mean you're going to get any super clear award-winning pictures, right? Unless it's a large object from far away. So what you can do, and what I found and I was able to do in a couple different instances, I went to my daughter. She had her little graduation from her like little Sea Cadet Academy thing she went to for a week with Texas A&M. And what I did was I used the full 200 megapixel camera resolution, and then I took the shot, and then you crop in. And it looks great. Why? Because 200 megapixels is a crap ton of data. Most of these telephoto lenses are like 10 megapixel, 13 megapixel, whatever. So if you have a 200 megapixel camera, you take a shot, full resolution, and then crop it and zoom in, you're going to have a lot more detail than, like, let's say if you took it with a 13 megapixel camera. So that is one nice thing. And also, some people complain it has 25-watt charging. With a 3900 milliamp battery, 25-watt charging is perfectly fine. It still charges right at or just above 50% in 30 minutes because it has quick charge. So, yeah, I find that it's perfectly all right. And I've absolutely been loving using it with my Galaxy Watch Ultra. I am like all in on Team Samsung stuff right now. Lately, I've been wearing my Apple Watch Ultra because I also carry my iPhone 16 Pro Max a lot of times. And I switched over. I'm using the S25 Edge. I'm using the Galaxy Watch Ultra. It's just been fun. This phone is so nice and refreshing. And every time I pick up my iPhone, every time I pick up an S25 Ultra, I pick up my Z Fold 6, I pick up these other phones. And it's kind of made me think differently about the way I look at some of these phones and what I want in a device. Because whenever you carry this around all the time, this is the S25 Ultra. When you carry this around all the time, you get used to it. It's like whenever you do something that's, yeah, it might be okay and you might not, you might get used to it because you do it all the time. Once you break out of that pattern and then you go back and you try, you're like, man, how have I been carrying this around and using this for so long, right? If we could get an S26 Ultra and a body like this, I would be in phone heaven. That would be absolutely fantastic. I like thinner phones. I like lighter phones. I like more ergonomic phones. And one reason I don't like super big phones and like to carry them around a lot of times is because they are bulky. They're bulky. They've got well, not big bezels, but I mean, it's a fat phone. It's not very ergonomic. I can't do anything with this phone one-handed. I have to use two hands for everything. So the smaller form factor, lightweight, all that stuff, and you've got everything else you want. 12 gigs of RAM, 7 years of support, super bright screen, beautiful display. I mean, Samsung basically makes the best looking displays in the business. I mean, of course, they make their own panels, and it's funny because Samsung is actually they make the screens for the iPhone, if you knew that or don't know that. And the reported iPhone folding phone that's coming out supposedly next year, Samsung is making the displays for that too. So it's just crazy because there's so much animosity between like the brand fans, like, oh, Apple or Samsung or screw you guys or whatever. Yeah, but Samsung makes so many of the components for so many of these phones. I made a video before talking about the Pixel 8. I think it was a Pixel 8. And I called it the best Samsung phone on the market because the phone was over 50% Samsung. So if you do like the percentage test, you could say, yes, that phone is actually a Samsung phone because the majority of the parts in it are Samsung. So Samsung puts parts in absolutely everything. But I think they've done a good job here. And this doesn't take away from the other phones. Like, it doesn't. It's an extra phone. It's an extra flavor on the soda fountain, right? People are like, this phone would be perfect if it had the telephoto and a 5,000 milliamp battery and 45-watt charging. That phone exists right here, the S25 Ultra. So they made this phone $200 cheaper than the Ultra, which I think is fair. You get all the premium stuff. It costs more money to make phones thinner and more compact like this. The technology, it just costs more money. But it's still got the Snapdragon 8 Elite, still 12 gigs of RAM, still 256 storage to start off with, and it still has all the other nice bells and whistles that the Ultra has minus the S Pen. Not everybody wants the S Pen, and there's even rumors that the S26 or the S27 could get rid of it. I get tired sometimes of listening to all the rumors, especially I saw somebody put an article out the other day saying the S27 Ultra is getting rid of the S Pen. It's 2 years away, bro. We're on the S25, right? How are we talking about rumors for the S27? Like, it's cool. I get it. You want to get clicks, but I mean, at the same time, that doesn't help anybody, right? And if that decision were even being discussed, there's 2 years to change your mind on something like that. So I just don't find that fruitful. But there is a lot of excitement about a lot of stuff right now, and I think a lot of the excitement's died down about this because it's kind of faded into the background. It's been out for a month. That's yesterday's news in the smartphone talking cycle, but I really enjoy it. I love this phone. This phone, along with the Motorola Razr Ultra, have been my two favorite phones this year, and then the S25 Ultra very closely behind. The S25 Ultra is an amazing phone, and it's still an overall better phone, and I have to keep saying that because it is. And you can get it for about the same price. I mean, I made a video a few weeks ago where I was talking about it and doing a comparison because this phone was $5 more than this phone. It's kind of a no-brainer if you're looking to get a phone. And yes, having a lighter, thinner phone is an option. But if you want the best phone for your money and you want all the bells and whistles, then yeah, the S25 Ultra is a no-brainer. I can't really recommend people that want the biggest, the best phone to go buy this. But if this is what you want, then this certainly checks a lot of boxes, and it has the ultra level performance. It just doesn't have that telephoto, and it doesn't have an S Pen. But a lot of people don't like the S Pen. The Galaxy series phones were hijacked when they got rid of the Note because they just shifted it over to the Ultra. They should have just called it the Note, right? I mean, in every bit of name, shape, and form, this is the Note. But they call it the Galaxy S series phone, right? So I know a lot of people were upset when they killed the Note, but they didn't kill it. It just shifted over, and they basically killed the regular S series Ultra. And I prefer the S series Ultra. I like the more rounded appearance. I like that I didn't have to have an S Pen. I don't really use the S Pen that much in the Ultra. I use it with the Fold all the time, but I don't use it with the Ultra that much. So for me, I was very upset that they got rid of the regular Ultra once they shifted everything over. It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So I feel like this kind of gave us that back. It just doesn't have the telephoto. And I think if it had the telephoto, people would probably be more excited about it. Maybe the next one will. I don't know. I hope there is a next one because this seems like it's going to be part of the lineup moving forward. If you take a look at Apple, the iPhone 17 Air is right around the corner. We're one day away from July, so that means August, September. So we're looking at the second week of September. We will see the iPhone 17 Air live in person in the flesh. And it's supposed to have 1,000 milliamp smaller battery than this, and Apple is reportedly ramping back up production for their battery packs to put on the back to make sure you can get it through the day. Like if Samsung did something like that, they would get taken to the cleaners. Like they would get crucified in public forums. So it's just crazy to me what certain brands can and can't get away with, right? But overall, this phone, I really enjoy it. It's an experience, and it's super crazy lightweight. And I got to say something. So this has the Gorilla Glass ceramic too. It was the first phone to get it. It's the same glass that's on the S25 Ultra, but it doesn't have that anti-reflective coating. It's marvelous, just like the Victus Armor is, because I don't have a screen protector on here, and I was looking at it today, even with the flashlight. I can't find scratches on it. The S25 series phones and Gorilla Glass Armor and Gorilla Glass Ceramic 2 are going to be putting these screen protector people out of business because it just doesn't have any scratches on it. It just blows my mind, and it's so much better than the ceramic shield on the iPhone. That is, they should call it ceramic dirt. My iPhone 16 Pro Max, I've been using without a screen protector for like 4 or 5 months now. It looks like somebody took a Brillo pad to a piece of plastic. Like, it looks horrible. So, yeah, Samsung's definitely winning in that department. But, yeah, I like this phone a lot. Good, bad, or indifferent. Whatever you want to say, whatever your opinion is, whatever your negative comment is about my opinion on the phone. I have so many people that, oh, you're just a shill. You're just, I don't know, you're being paid. I had somebody that accused me of being paid to make videos about the S25 Edge. No, I just like it a lot. It's a good phone. And for people that have picked it up, I've had so many nice resounding comments where they're like, I really like this phone. Thank you for making the video. I'm glad that I listened to you and I went and looked at it. And if you're interested in this phone, go to Best Buy, look at one in person on display, and you can see for yourself what the fuss is about. And I've been using lately this thin-born case, which I know the guy personally. He's a good guy. But these thin-born cases, they're super thin. It's this aramid carbon fiber weave-looking case on it. It basically adds no heft, no weight. It's still super, super thin, but it gives you protection on the phone. So this and the Kind suitcase, the leather one from Samsung, those are my two go-to cases for this phone. And like I said, I've been enjoying it. I just wanted to make this video. It's been a month. I mean, the honeymoon period, I guess, has worn off a little bit, but it's like a quick refresher and a boomerang back to that happiness again every time I pick up another phone. Because every time I pick up this phone, I'm like, wow, how is this even possible? And just to put it, to give you some imagination, the S25 Ultra basically weighs the equivalent of a whole egg over what this weighs. So I know when we're like, oh, one weighs 218 grams, one weighs 150, whatever. And the best way to say it, basically a whole egg, right? So if you take an egg and put it in your hand, that's the weight difference between these two phones. And this is like 3 millimeters thinner. So I like it. I am definitely team S25 Edge, and I hope that the platform gets better in the future, but it's a good phone now. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions, comments, gripes, concerns, complaints, all that stuff, please, of course, go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.